Pisces, and welcome to your November tarot prediction reading with me. I'm going to shuffle the cards a little bit in front of the camera for you, not the whole thing because I tend to take quite a lot of time connecting with the messages that are coming in. So if we start with the first card, you could assume that as we work down the four cards we're working through the month of November, and that is typically a way of looking at the cards, but they are going to infuse themselves throughout the whole month anyhow. So the first card, the High Priestess, it's a very spiritual card and a major arcana card, which indicates to us that there is at some level for you in the month of November something that's going to be quite deep that runs through the spiritual essence of you. So yeah, when the major arcana cards turn up, they often have a little bit of deeper connection for one reason or another. And this is a positive card in most ways, and as I say, it is very spiritual. So it often also has to do with sexual overtones, and this is for men and women. It can mean that you're in a phase where you can be much more physically attractive to other people. And this card is also very much about the feminine perspective of our nature, so it can be tying in the two, the yin and yang together. So for any males listening, it can be bringing in your feminine aspects and making the most of those and learning about them. Or it could also be that you're around a lot of females that you understand or work with their energy at a nicer level. It's also a card that suggests you should rely on your intuition and your inner knowledge rather than your conscious or your intellect. So it's possibly a month about your feelings and your emotions, and definitely the next card does tie in with that as well. So if we look at this card as work related, it could be that you are in for a positive surprise, or you could even be in for a new job opportunity. You could think of new systems or processes for your work. It does say if there's any gossip around, try and avoid getting stuck into that or being caught up in gossip. We know that overall gossip isn't a positive thing to be in. It's usually originates around negativity, and if you get caught up in it, you're going to get caught in the end, and it's not a happy place to be. Now if we think of this card from a love perspective, it can be a mystical time for love. If you're a man and you date woman, or a woman and date woman, you could well be interested in someone who's a wee bit distant and unapproachable at this point in time. But trust your instincts. If you feel that the relationship has a potential to head somewhere, then just, you know, be a bit more laid back about it and don't be too pushy against other people, because they are keeping a distance for one reason or another. And if you're a woman, you could find, as we've said earlier, that you may find that you have a lot of attraction delivered to you for this month, and that could be quite potent. So that's something to keep in mind. Refer to this card, the High Priestess regards finances. Someone may not be completely honest, they might be hiding a little bit of something, and here's where you're going to need to work with your intuition. So don't be afraid to dig deep and do a little bit of investigating, especially if it's something that you're thinking of perhaps purchasing a big ticket item, or a second hand like a car or a house, looking for a mortgage. Just check everything out twice and make sure that you've got your legal strategies in place and that you have checked the item that you're going to be buying. Make sure it's legitimate and that there's no hidden defects in it. I think that's something that's coming up. Spirituality wise, you could find messages coming to you from all sorts of places, so synchronicity is going to be something for you for the month. Regards health, I think the two cards in particular that align to health in this reading are these two, and we know that the Nine of Swords here indicates sort of anxiety a little bit actually, so a little bit of worry, and anxiety and fear are kind of tied together. So if you're feeling any of these feelings, you've got to again listen to your gut and call upon your spirituality a little bit more and see if you can find a place of calm and meditation. And you may also seek to find a new health practitioner or someone who can perhaps give you advice that you currently haven't found yet or aren't following or understand. So this could be a time where you reach out to change direction slightly in your health for some reason or another, because You may have a few health issues around you that you feel haven't been addressed properly and that you're still wanting to find answers for. And November could be a time for that, when you discreetly look around and perhaps try a few alternatives, and possibly alternative type medicines or holistic or naturotherapy. So that can often be, in relation to that card, that can often be what it's referring to. Another card, it just says to pay attention to your amount of things that you're perhaps doing at any one time, and slow down and take a little bit of time out. And we come back to the message here of your health and alternative methods, and they say breathing practices are very important. So learn to take those deep, calm breaths and to slow down the pace of everything and slow down your mind. And again, we come back to this card, that connection to the spiritual essence and the peacefulness that goes with it. And it's surprising how when we calm our mind and the flow of our bodies down, how any worries that we may have back off a little bit. So when we move on to the next card, the 10 of Cups here, beautiful card to receive in a reading, and I haven't seen it pop out for any of these readings before for my channel. I love it. It's the card of success, happiness, prosperity, potential prosperity. So goals that you are looking at could have that silver lining to them. You know, they could have that extra supportive helping hand, whether it be from this realm or another realm. It does often refer to our closer happiness. So this is more about you. It's not about big projects that might be globally inspired. It's more about your family and yourself and your relationships. For those of you in relationships, this is a happy sign as well. It indicates that if you have any issues that you're wanting to work on them and put the effort into it, because the possibilities or the probabilities of it turning out well are there for you for the month of November. You know, I say this all the time. Think about how you're going to say it and how you're going to deal with anything. But if you use positive approach and a positive mental attitude and a desire to succeed through any issues around you, you've got a good chance this month. The energies are working well for you. So as I say, even health-wise, it's the beautiful rainbow, and it's supported by love energy. And love energy, of course, is the best energy that we can harness on the planet. It is, after all, what we come here for. Not just romantic love, but love for ourselves, love for others, love for life, love for our planet. So love is an incredibly powerful situation. And then if we move on to the 10 of Wands, this one shows us, as we're moving into the end of the month here, you feel a little bit more as if you've got a lot on your plate. And you know, you're carrying perhaps a little bit of not a burden, but you might feel, oh my gosh, there's so many things going on and I'm not sure which way to do them or which to approach first, and maybe I feel like I'm not getting enough help from others. So remember that if you feel that, there could be a reason for that, that you have perhaps had to take on a certain amount to assist others in your life. So sometimes we have to carry the burden, and it's not necessarily for a long time, but it can be very beneficial to others. So sometimes it's the thought of not thinking about ourselves, but supporting either a friend or a family member or someone close to you. So I think if we look at this situation instead of taking it as a negative, you look at it as a positive. Think of it that someone who might require your assistance and support, what a beautiful thing that you're there to be able to offer that for them. How lovely it is to have people in your life who rely on you and who trust you with their needs as well. So I think any negative in life, if we can flip it and see the other side, because of course in life there are always two sides to everything. There's always a negative, but there's always a positive. So if any negative situations crop up, you flip them over to the positive and look at them from that perspective, and suddenly you see it, wow, okay, I can see the good in this. There's no need to worry about it. And again, it just moves on. It's just part of a phase, short term, and it transitions into something new at the end as well. So that's actually a really nice reading you've got there, Pisces. Now let's look at your higher vibrational energy card for the month. So here we are, Pisces, with our beautiful higher vibrational energy, and remember to call upon this anytime during the month. It's there for your specific use. So let's see what the higher energies are wanting you to receive. Zadical, the gift of gratitude. And how interesting that we were just talking about the fact that if you feel during the month that you're required to assist someone else and support them, what a wonderful feeling that is. And that's the gift of gratitude, of being grateful for having people in your lives, or friends in your lives, or people who trust you. So there's a double message for you there. It certainly arrived. And Zadical is the beautiful green energy that's coming through this card, all this green heart chakra, love energy again. And we talked about love, so the cards really connect. It's a beautiful thing when they do. Synchronicity, and we talked about that earlier in your reading. So, you know, there's so much to be grateful for while we're living here on this planet, and if we can learn to be grateful about the little things that come our way, and look at the picture on here, harvest time. And interestingly, I think for the Northern Hemisphere people, and in America in particular, you celebrate on the 25th of November, you celebrate a special day. And I think that's about gratitude and harvest and food. So if we can become grateful for every single thing in our lives, that energy that we put out, that feeling of gratitude, we harness it back in. So we receive much more. When you give, you receive. Because that's the very flow and essence of life. So the more you give out in gratitude, the more you will receive. So I think your message here too, Pisces, is you can be on the end of a lot of receiving. Well, thank you for listening with me for your November reading, and I wish you lots of gratuity and happiness for November. Peace and much aroha.